Apple launching new stuff is old news. It's very important. I think people are losing interest in Apple's new stuff. But collect all this data over time would turn it into a predictive, it would give us a predictive database that eliminates the need to continue to ask the question. I would continue to ask the question because I want to add another instance to the database. But if we had this big database and we collected it all, by the third day, I would be able to go to Apple and say, it's not going to continue unless you do something else. Here's what the framework of the system looks like. Direct from the handset into the cloud, into a respondent level database. Not a SQL type database, they're far too inflexible. Automated analytics that count the instances, store them, log probability values against them, create meta-knowledge, and straight out to the marketer, not to the market researcher, straight out to the marketer. Now, I call this a sort of hello, are you there thing, because the marketer doesn't even have to be looking at the data. They can be doing the other stuff. A message pops up on the screen, hello, are you there? There's something happening. So here's what we can do. Hello, are you there? From the diary. There's a worrying dip in Coca-Cola sales at lunch, and we can collect all of this in 120 seconds. What I'm going to take you through now is 2 minutes of survey. There's a worrying dip in Coca-Cola sales at lunch. The machine knows this because it's collected Coca-Cola sales at lunch now for 3 years. And it knows that this is something that you should pay attention to. And that can be on the desktop by 3 o'clock. We can get it to the client. It's associated with an increase in Evian sales. We know that too, because somebody has recorded that today they drank Evian instead of Coca-Cola. We can tell you why. Evian happened to be on promotion. That can also be part of the record that we collect in 120 seconds. And we can answer the question for the Coke brand manager whether it affected Coke's equity. Don't worry. The equity was still there, the preference for the brand was there, but people moved in to Evian because it was on promotion. Using the database, we can go further. In the past, when this has happened, Coca-Cola sales take roughly 4 days to get back to equilibrium. If you counter-promote, it takes 2 days to get back to equilibrium. Here's an app that allows you to do an ROI analysis to see whether you should counter-promote straight away. Is it worth recovering those 2 days, or should we just let it run? This we can all do now. And it's the machine that can do that. The machine can do the counting, the analysis, and the written report. That's the last thing I'm going to show you is how it does the written report. This is not just about packaged goods. It's also about, for example, service industry. So you might meet NatWest. And people are entering, people are telling us about their experiences in banking, and we discover that NatWest customer experience has taken an unusually negative dip. And the reason, and again, the reason will be there, because it's part of the 120 seconds. Slow refresh speeds. The website isn't working that well. It's resulted in, part of the 120 seconds, a 2-point fall in brand equity. And that equity has gone to 2 of your key competitors, Lloyds and Santander. That can also be part of the 120 seconds. We know this by 3 o'clock if it starts happening earlier in the day. From the database, we can infer other things. In the past, when you've taken no action, now this is a machine, by the way, this is not human being. We don't need a researcher to sit there and do this. The machine can write the report. In the past, if you take no action, customer defections follow after about 4 months. Dual customers, that's people who have accounts at more than one bank, shift business within 2 days, all recorded through mobile diary entries. And there's an immediate and costly increase in call center activity, which again can be quantified, all recorded through diary entries. But points rewards on the loyalty card quietens people down, makes them less upset, and you recover the situation. All of this. immediately, in real time, in time, to make a difference to what happens to your business going forward. Dependent on building the database, putting the automated analytics in, and then churning out the predictions. So the last thing I want to talk about is how we do get rid of you completely. I need to see whether you're worried. I will say in the end what you could do instead, in case you were wondering. I think some people wonder whether I'm talking about a fictional world. It's not fictional. This is real. We can do this. When I say we, TNS, can do this. So automated machine analysis and reporting, how does it work? I mean, for me, the beauty of what mobile has done is that it fixes so many of the things that are wrong, that we know are wrong, about the marketing information that we collect. It fixes the issues we have with memory. It gets much closer to what people are doing, so we get accurate reporting immediately. It fixes the problem of this real-time gap, the fact that the information takes too long to get to us and is therefore not actionable. And lastly, it fixes the problem of market visibility. It gets us everywhere. It gets us to the places that we need to be to talk to our customers and consumers. But the data doesn't go to a market researcher. The data goes straight into an analytic engine. And the analytic engine looks like this. We have the data on the one side, and then in the center we have software that's been written with 4 fundamental characteristics. There are what are called fetching rules, there's statistical rules, there are logical rules, and there's the database creation and analytic rule base. And as the data comes in, the engine activates the fetching rules and collects that data to create an informed data structure, to create something that's meaningful for the marketer. On the right-hand side, what we have are fragments of text, real writing, fragments of text, grammatical fragments that are pulled in when you need the grammar, and the analytic fragments that are pulled in when you need the analytics. The machine inspects the data that it's looking at. And because this software has been written by an expert, me for instance, I'm an expert on some things like brand equity and that sort of stuff. I've written the fragments on the right-hand side. I've written the rules for the machine in the middle. It inspects the data and goes and collects the correct fragments to create a report that looks as if it's been written by a human being, except it has this one important difference. It hasn't been written by an ordinary researcher. It's been written by me. And I'm an expert. I'm better than most when it comes to equity. Assembles the report and it goes straight to the client or straight to the client's desktop. We don't need the marketing researcher to do this anymore. Now, I do want to just go live quickly. So it's a little bit clunky. We're just switching screens. Here is a correspondence. Go to the next slide. Here's a correspondence analysis for a bank. I'm not sure which one it is. It might be Lloyds or HSBC in the UK. Produced automated. It's not very, very attractive, and I'm really not interested in the display. What I'm interested in is the little brain thing at the top. The machine has just written a report. That's written live. This isn't something that was pre-written. It's gone, it's looked at the data, it's used statistical rules that we told it to use, it's used logical and brand management rules that we told it to use, and it's written a report with marketing implications for Lloyds TSB. Go to, not yet, close that. Go to on, because I think that's HSBC. Same correspondence map, but the client now is HSBC. And we need to write a report that's relevant to the HSBC brand manager, not to the Lloyds TSB manager. So we write the report. That's how long it takes, much faster than a human being. And there are the marketing recommendations for HSBC. Go to, we use Google Translate to turn it into any language so it can be used anywhere around the world. compute, close, and you can export it as PowerPoint, PDF, whatever. There's the report. It's a written report. It's a 2-page report in this case, one for each, and it's been written live as I've been talking to you. So we don't need people anymore. And the beauty of it is that it's written by an expert. It's written by somebody who knows correspondence analysis, who knows the statistics and all the rest of it. This is your hard copy version. So this is what you're going to take away with you in the PDF. You don't have to go online. I'll flip through it very quickly. We point out how it works. I'm going to wrap it up now. Why are machines better? First of all, they're really fast. That's why we can do things in real time. We don't have human beings slowing the process down. Secondly, they don't make calculation mistakes. If there's a mistake in there, it's because the programmer put the mistake in. And it doesn't matter how complex the calculation is. Thirdly, they never forget. They never leave out a step. They don't have to go back to find out all the instances. You know, when the machines collected all the instances of new product launches by the cell phone manufacturers, by the smartphone manufacturers, it's there, and it's there instantaneously. They never forget. And finally, they're expert because the analytic engine isn't written by an ordinary marketing information person. It's written by an expert. So that's the hurdle that you have to beat. I don't think we can be faster. I don't think we can calculate better. Our memories are not as good. We can't do that either. We can't do the predictive thing. It takes us too long. We can't beat the base level that the expert gets the machine to. So what is it that we can do? Here is why machines are better at this stuff. They're better because they're not human. It's just the way it is. What is it we can do that machines can't yet do? Well, what we can do is step back and have a look at the overall picture and take the level to the analysis to a strategic level, rather than just what we currently do, which is we are all immersed in a factory. Marketing research is not a great job. Not so? I mean, you agree? We're all just churning out superficial layers of analysis because we don't have time to create the insights. We don't have time to go back into the databases and do the interrogation. We're churning out superficial levels of analysis. Let the machines do that, and let us move on to strategic levels of analysis. Thanks very much for your attention.